Horimiya just started airing in January last year, and it already has managed to garner a huge fan following. The Horimiya anime has become one of the most liked rom-com anime airing this season. The anime's success is due to its already huge manga fan following. If you're a weeb, you have heard of this manga. The manga will be ending in April last year and fans are excited to see the story concludes. Enough of that, Horimiya is finished airing, and watching the show made many people realize how great the rom-com genre can be. So we picked the best anime out there which are more or less similar to Horimiya. The list includes some of the best anime released in the last decade, and even before that, you would enjoy every anime on this list. Here's a romance anime that most likely flew off your radar in 2017. Let's give it up for Tsuredure Children, a heart-tickling show about juvenile love told through episodic stories with varying degrees of sweetness and tenderness. What I love about Tsuredure Children is that it proves that truly captivating love stories don't have to take a lot of time to tell. Each story in this anime takes only about an episode or two. This anime doesn't rely on overarching storylines, nor does it complicate scenarios to the point of unnecessity. And that is why it works. Every story in Tsuredure Children is enthralling and fulfilling, which leaves you satisfied yet inexplicably yearning for more. So, in order for the yearning to be sated, you're given another episode of the same caliber and goodness, but with different characters and circumstances. If you're not following what I'm saying, then by all means, just give it a chance and try it out for yourself. Sooner or later, you'll find out that you already cherish this anime just as much as its characters cherish one another.
人生はクソゲーだ。
人生というゲームに本気で向き合いなさい。
何かが変わるかもしれない。
This is an anime that I found coincidentally whilst I was checking the new shows that were coming out alongside Horimiya. I didn't want to believe it at first, but after watching the pilot episode, I was convinced that Kaguya-sama Tamazaki-kun is somewhat like a poor man's version of Horimiya. So I dove right in without hesitation. In Kaguya-sama Tamazaki-kun, we have a high school student who's a maven in snatching victory in video games, no matter what the odds. His name is Horimiya Tamazaki, and he's one of the best TACFM players in Japan. Despite his success as a high-tier character, when it comes to playing video games, Horimiya Tamazaki's reality is far from awe-inspiring. In real life, he is actually a bottom-tier character who always blames life for its convoluted mechanics and unfair rules. But then, he meets a fellow high-tier TACFM player who happens to be his attractive, popular, and charismatic classmate, Aoi Hinami. Somehow, the encounter slightly shifts the gears of fate, and before he knows it, Horimiya Tamazaki is persuaded by Aoi Hinami into seriously leveling up and playing the real game, the game of life. Yuki Hayes is an ordinary high school boy, somewhat absent-minded, kind-hearted and affectionate. He also has a constant struggle with math. He has set out to meet and be friends with a lonely girl who never talks to anyone, Kaori Fujimiya. He is sure that the two can become great friends. Kaori Fujimiya never talks to anyone and is always alone at school, but that doesn't mean she has no feelings or emotions. Despite her non-existent social life, Kaori is a bright student with a perfect record. The day Yuki Hayes approaches her to talk to her and try to be her friend, she is very surprised. Will she be able to tell him her biggest secret?
その日、あずさ川作田は出会った。そう。ここから始まったんだ。僕たちの物語は。
In Horimiya, the two leads are so comfortable around one another that it seems like they've been close for years, and Rascal does not dream of bunny girl senpai captures that same feeling with its main couple Sakura and Mai. The plot definitely has a more supernatural aspect to it. The characters' personal issues manifest into reality as things like selective invisibility, time loops, clones. But the characters are so well written and have such perfect chemistry between them that even non-sci-fi fans can enjoy this anime. Be warned, though, Rascal is a massive tearjerker, making us cry within the first 3 episodes. Definitely bring some tissues.
ひろたか？
なるみ。
じゃあまた後で。
あ、なるみ。今度の夏コミは参加すんの？
Watakoi Love is Hard for Otaku is an underrated romance slice of life anime about otaku office workers hitting it off with one another in the most wholesome and saccharine way. Who'd want to see office workers going lovey-dovey and wanting it in broad daylight? Well, cringe not, because Watakoi Love is Hard for Otaku is not what you're thinking it is. Open your mind a bit and don't let yourself fall victim to superficial biases. After all, this show is just like most quality romance slice of life anime, if not better. My Little Monster introduces viewers to Shizuku Mizutani, a studious young girl who only cares about her grades. Although she prefers to be alone, her life changes when she meets Haru Yoshida, a notorious troublemaker who doesn't like attending school. Shizuku and Haru might have very few things in common, but they understand each other much better than anyone else. They have a similar worldview as they both prefer to stay alone and distant. When Shizuku gets to know Haru, she realizes there is more to him than ferocity. My Little Monster will remind you of Hori and Izumi, whose differences do not get in the way of their relationship, and they fall in love with each other after realizing that there is more to them than what they had previously thought. This classic rom-com is on the older side, but it's still highly regarded to this day because of its expertly written characters and a finely honed balance between comedy and drama. High school students Ryuji Takasu and Taiga Asaka are similar to Hori and Miyamura in that their actual personalities are nothing like how people perceive them from afar. Gentle and domestic Ryuji is thought to be a delinquent because of his scary face, while fiery Taiga is underestimated due to her short stature and cutesy look. Tsundere connoisseurs will recognize Taiga as one of the most celebrated examples of the archetype in anime history, but you don't need to have godlike taste to appreciate this story of two fire-forged friends who can't seem to realize that the love they've been searching for was right in front of them all along. As the first female student council president of the formerly all-male Sika High School, Misaki Aizawa has her work cut out for her to transform this slovenly institution into a place worthy of its new female students. Everyone knows her as a massive hardass who uses martial arts and strategically placed death glares to enforce her agenda, but she harbors a closely guarded secret. She works part-time at a maid cafe to support her family. Popular and talented ace student Yusui happens to walk into her cafe and promises to keep her secret, and from then on, the two are inseparable. The dynamic between Misaki and Yusui is very similar to Hori and Miyamura, a cool mysterious guy and an easily flustered but mature girl, to the point where Horimiya may very well be an homage to Maid-sama. If you love classic romance anime, give this one a shot.
いいだろう。私と結婚してくれるなら、付き合ってあげる。
TONIKAWA Over the Moon for You exhibits the kind of romance that completely skips all the tedious pre-relationship proceedings and jumps the gun on the get-go. That's right, our main couple here Nasa and Tsukasa marries on the very first episode. It's totally whack, I know, but at least it gets right into action and focuses on the meaty parts of the relationship itself. A few episodes in, and we're shown how life as a married couple isn't really that different from any other kind of romantic relationship. Well, considering that Nasa and Tsukasa marries right off the bat, I might be wrong. Still, I'm confident to say that their wholesome interactions as a married couple are enough to melt even the most frozen of hearts. With TONIKAWA Over the Moon for You, there's no unnecessary drama, no cheesy antics, and no overused tropes. It's all pure sweetness and romance.
もし貴殿が気高く生きようというのなら決して敗者になってはならない。恋愛は戦!
Come on, I know you all love romantic comedy anime shows. But beyond all reasonable doubt, when it comes to actually putting comedy in romantic comedy, Kaguya-sama Love is War takes the cake. How can this show not be hilarious when its main characters, Kaguya and Miyuki, are at each other's throats trying to squeeze out a love confession? Whoever confesses first is a loser and is looked down upon by the other. And since both of them are on top of the student body possessing renown, fame, and intellect, it's really interesting to witness their crazy antics in trying to best the other. It's hard to imagine how anyone could possibly hold their laughter while watching Kaguya-sama Love is War. I'd actually consider it a full-blown comedy show, if not for its romantic direction as well as its usage of many rom-com tropes. Anyway, You absolutely must watch Kaguya-sama, Love is War, because I believe that it's the most representative of comedy amongst all romance comedy anime. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video on anime similar to Horimiya. I know I did. I have a lot of binge watching ahead of me. And I'm sure you do too. I'm sure your list just expanded out, or who knows, maybe you're all caught up. And when you complete all of the anime mentioned on the list. But anyways, if you think that we missed anything on this list, then be sure to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video if you like it and subscribe to the channel for more anime content like this. Anyways, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.